Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube.com. It is Girl MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony the Hitman Florio, and it looks like it's just going to be the two of us here tonight. Michael Bullock might be out of the show. We hope to have him in a little bit. If he does show up, then great. If he doesn't, then it's going to be a very quick show. But it is a little later than usual. This is 11 o'clock start time. Normally it would be either 10 or 10:30, but I had work commitments beyond my control. So, Anthony, you're gonna probably be the only one that's gonna be that's gonna have a chance to about the show because I have not seen the show yet. Been going on. I just been unable to do it. However, before we do get underway with SmackDown Live, as many of you guys know, tonight was a very special night on 205 Live, and I want to uh, get that breaking news in right now. Anthony, if you have it, apparently we have a new general manager of 205 Live. So who is it? Who's our new GM?
Now, before I disclose this information, you know nothing, right, MF?
Absolutely nothing.
You haven't read any spoilers or dirt sheets or anything?
I
Because
was
I know who it
working.
is.
I had no choice.
Okay, so you're free swinging.
Literally.
Good, because I want to make sure. You get a big surprise reaction out of this. Because yes, indeed, yes, hello friends, Anthony Florio here with you for this abbreviated late start edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, and yes, I do have the news. This is big news right here. Daniel Bryan came out and he announced that the first ever general manager of 205 Live is none other than, drumroll please, Drake Maverick. Now you're saying, okay, who in the hell is Drake Maverick? Okay, you know, once I tell you who it is, then you'll know who it is. Formerly of TNA Impact Wrestling, the winner of their British boot camp show. I think that just gave it away. Ladies and gentlemen, it's none other than Dixie Carter's former chief of staff, Rockstar Spud.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me!
Nope, I'm not. It's Rockstar Spud. Rockstar Spud. He's now going to be known as Drake Maverick. He is the general manager of 205 Live. But I sense a little detestment on that one, MF. But as far as what's going to happen with the Cruiserweight Championship, I think that's going to get that bad taste out of your mouth very quickly. He announced, starting tonight, we are going to have a 16-man tournament, and the final match of that tournament will take place on the grandest stage of all, WrestleMania 34. So there you go. Rockstar Spud, general manager. He's going to be known as Drake Maverick. 16-man tournament to determine the new Cruiserweight champion. The first two matches of which took place tonight. I'll tell you more about that Monday night on my Tony's Take on the next Ridiculously Raw, because I don't want to spoil too much. But I can confirm, 16-man tournament, and the winner of that tournament, MF, the final match to determine the new Cruiserweight champion of the world, as you call it, will take place at WrestleMania 34 at the Superdome in New York on April 8th. How about it?
That's humongous news, definitely, without a doubt. Drake Maverick as the general manager of 205 Live. That's a little bit of an interesting situation. I don't think I was expecting Rockstar Spud to get the spot, though. I mean, I'm a little surprised about that. That's why I kind of was like, the rumors were like it could have been Gregory Helms. I heard people say it could be Rey Mysterio. I heard a lot of people talking that it could be, Dean Malenko. There was a lot of talk about him possibly being the guy. Rockstar Spud was not even on my radar, to say the very least. So that's why I'm a little bit of a. I kind of am wondering what WWE is doing, but they did sign Jeremy Borash as well today. So I mean, there's a lot of TNA influence that's starting to infiltrate WWE. I mean, is it good? Is that bad? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of it's a unique situation. So we're gonna wait and see what happens.
How about the
And
tournament?
well, as far as the tournament goes, I'm very optimistic about it. I'm very excited. As a matter of fact,
16 man, and the finals, and the new champion will be crowned at WrestleMania. How about that?
Now the question I will have is, because with 16 men, do you think now the question I have is, and this is a legit question I need to ask.
Okay.
I don't know if there's enough for a true 16-man tournament, meaning, is there a chance we could see some legends in this? And not only that, but I heard a rumor of maybe some of the guys from the UK jumping in this tournament. One name got thrown, and it almost had me almost going marking out. We all know who that name is. The first ever United Kingdom champion himself.
Tyler Bate.
Yes.
Well, okay. I don't want to give too much away.
You don't have to.
But you twisted my arm enough, MF. I'm gonna tell you right now what happened. I'm not gonna give you the results of the match, but the first two matches of this cruiserweight tournament for tonight: Cedric Alexander versus Grand Metalik, and the other match, TJ Perkins, one-on-one with Tyler Bate.
That means you're going to see a lot of European and WWE UK divisional guys be a part of this tournament, and that's going to be great, because if that's the case,
Yep.
205 Live, you just got yourself a major shot in the arm. I'm telling you right now, that's going to be an unbelievable tournament. All right, guys, so we're not going to waste any more time. I know you guys are waiting for the SmackDown review, so we're going to start it right here, right now. We started it out with the man who won the 2018 WWE Royal Rumble match, Shinsuke Nakamura. He was later interrupted by Kevin Owens and by Sami Zayn. Obviously, they have a big gripe about what he did and the whole 9 yards, and it turned into a one big-time chaotic scene, to say the very least. So, Anthony, why don't you go ahead, give me your thoughts on, first off, the winner of the 2018 Royal Rumble, Shinsuke Nakamura, and his first promo past winning the Rumble. So go ahead. It's all yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. Solid segment. I mean, we all know how likable Shinsuke Nakamura is. I mean, everybody wanted him to win that thing, as did we. And what's been missing is just extended time to see him as more than a weird gyration and funny face. But he also has lacked a quote-unquote stated mission. And now, finally, he has one. Because he won the Royal Rumble, and now he wants he wants AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Oh my goodness, that is everybody, all of us and our mothers know that's going to be the fight of the night, hands down. No other match on that card is going to top it. Let's not kid ourselves. Some may come close, but nothing is going to top that bout right there, no doubt. Now, there was more to this. Nakamura was saying needed the face of Sami Zayn, needed the face of John Cena, needed the face of Roman Reigns. And at WrestleMania, AJ Styles, knee face, new WWE champion, pointed at the WrestleMania sign. And then he was interrupted by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who came out saying, "Oh, we got screwed. We got screwed. We got screwed out of the title." And then AJ Styles shows up and he says, "You two can whine and cry all you want. Well, we got a dream match in New Orleans between me and Shinsuke at WrestleMania. But tonight on SmackDown Live, the house that AJ Styles built, how about the dream match turns into a dream team? Because how about the two of us go up against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens tonight?" And Sami and Kevin retreated. They said nope. So, but don't worry, we end up getting it anyway. So, boy howdy, solid segment here. I mean, a good first promo from Nakamura after winning the Royal Rumble. I mean, let the build begin. And I'm going to be real honest. I'm hoping, and I am seriously hoping, that they keep them both as baby faces. I don't want to see either of them turn heel. I want to see a pure babyface match at WrestleMania, because those tend to be really special. But if you have to turn one of them heel, you got to turn AJ heel. Shinsuke's too over. Don't turn Nakamura heel. If you're gonna turn anybody heel, turn AJ heel, because AJ, we all know how damn good of a heel AJ is. So, me personally, I don't want to see either of them. I want to see them both go in as faces. That's just how I feel. But nonetheless, I mean, a solid first build. And you said it, MF. You said it the other night when we did our Rumble recap. You said that we got 10 weeks to build this sucker. We got plenty of time. So, I mean, but long story short, I think it was Shinsuke's best promo to date, which is not saying much, but he had more confidence here than he has at any point in the past, and the lack of authority figures intervening in this portion of the show, makes me wonder if they're possibly saving it for later or maybe dialing it back. And maybe they're not going to be hypocrites anymore, and they're actually going to make it about the show and the superstars and not about them. And I watched back that first SmackDown Live of the extension, and I clearly heard Daniel Bryan say, and I quote, "This is not about us. It's about the superstars and opportunities." Maybe they finally figured this out, but we'll see. So, solid opening segment. I'll probably by default say segment of the night, because I think there was like maybe one other, and I got some interesting thoughts on that one later. But let's move on, MF, to our first match of the night. A very interesting one, a number one contenders match.
Well, before we do that, there was one other thing that that needed to be addressed, and that was Daniel Bryan was approached by both Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. He did officially make that tag team fight. That was fine. Then they argued about what happened at the Royal Rumble, and Daniel Bryan said, "All right, I agree. There's no problem with that. You guys did get cheated out. However, I'm going to make this deal. And I don't care if you like it or not. Next week on SmackDown, we are going to have a match. And it's going to be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. The winner of that fight will fight AJ Styles for the WWE Championship at Fastlane." Brilliant. I got no problems with this. And as a matter of fact, I'll give you the number one contender right now. I'll say who we all want it. We all want Sami Zayn. Yes. We don't want Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn has to win this fight, because if you get Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles one-on-one for the WWE Championship, you thought the fight on SmackDown Live was epic? This one could easily put itself at Fight of the Year candidacy. It's right there. it's there for the taking. WWE, be smart about this. You got something big going on with Monday Night Raw with the Elimination Chamber. You give us Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles for the WWE title at Fastlane. That's a really nice fight to have and a really good challenge for AJ Styles leading into WrestleMania. This is this could be that last quote unquote roadblock he needs to get by, the last hurdle he needs to jump before we get to WrestleMania. And who knows how that plays out. All right. Can't wait for next week on that. So the first fight of the night was a fatal four-way for the right to become the number one contender for the United States Heavyweight Championship. Obviously, Bobby Roode was at ringside, and we had Jinder Mahal, Kofi Kingston representing the New Day, Zack Ryder, and Rusev. Well, the winner of the bout and the man who will get to face Bobby Roode sometime down the line for the United States Heavyweight Championship, it's Rusev Day. Okay, that was my worst attempt of an 8 in English ever. Never again. Florio, it's yours. Your man did it. Rusev is the number one contender.
There's nothing more for me to say, MF, except this is how you do it. It's Rusev Day. That's how you do it. I mean, you got that Don Henley upper register singing voice. Leave the lower tier voice to me. That's where I come in. So I got the more of the English style voice, anywho. So yes. As far let me just give a quick thought about the match next week with Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn. Daniel Bryan, you saw Daniel Bryan. He didn't seem to be on their side this time, although he is technically guaranteeing one of them a title shot against Styles at Fastlane. So KO and Sammy can look at that as a bright side of that decision, I'm sure. So, but as far as this match is concerned, I got to make the argument. I got to say, you can make an argument that this was the fight of the night here, honestly. 2 3/4 to 3 stars. I mean, I'm going to be curious to see how the crowd reacts to Bobby Roode when he faces Rusev. I mean, because Roode has so little to say as a babyface, and perhaps a heel turn could work well against Rusev. It'd be crazy for WWE to position Rusev as anything but a breakout babyface act at this point, considering all these monster pops he's been getting over the last few weeks. But it was a very enjoyable match. Yes, it did lack energy at times, but I think it was mostly due to the competitors working cold without much of a feud involved. Rusev getting the win got a decent pop, and yet his confrontation with Roode wasn't all that hot. In a perfect world, one of the two of them would be a strong heel, but it just wasn't there. But it was a very good match. It took a bit to get going, but it was largely fun, and they kept things going well. And yes, I'm very happy Rusev won. I mean, they're finally scaling back on Jinder Mahal. Honestly, I had Mahal winning going in because I was sure they would have loved to have done a rematch, but no, they gave it to Rusev. I mean, Rusev, former champion in his own right, so that's all I can say on that. So solid 2 3/4 to 3. And I could probably make an argument that this was the fight of the night, honestly. So that's how good it was. Solid match. So looking forward to next week. I mean, we got 2 big matches next week. Owens and Zayn, number 1 contender. And you've got Roode and Rusev for the U.S. title. Big show in Kansas City next week. Wouldn't you say, MF?
Oh, without a doubt. No, without a doubt. Then the next thing we had was the Fashion Files. They were answering social media questions. Now, I'm not even going to go into that. That's nothing more to say. The Usos cut it a promo, and I'm gonna say it, man. I don't know. Maybe it was just because they got tired out. I mean, the foreign nights in Philly, so I'm not gonna hold that against them. But that crowd was dead for the Usos, man. I don't know what happened. I don't know what what that really, but I think they're just tired out. I mean, with everything going on, they're kind of just like, ugh, I think they're just wanting it to be done, and we'll see what happens there. All right. Next thing we had was the Bludgeon Brothers. They just wrestled a bunch of jobbers, so I'm not even going to waste any time, Florio. You don't have to review that, but
Right.
we definitely need to get into this. Then Daniel Bryan made a huge announcement. Next week, and starting next week, SmackDown Live is going to have a top 10 list. Now, for the first week, WWE superstars, SmackDown superstars, will vote on who they think is deserving of future opportunities. Plus, Shane and Daniel will also get a vote. Superstars cannot vote for themselves, and in the following weeks, the WWE Universe will have the job of putting the top 10 list. This is very cool. This is very innovative. And for me, I am really thrilled about this because this actually is a great, nice little interaction of the WWE Universe getting involved. And again, it's another thing that makes SmackDown Live and make some. I'm gonna say it, and I know I'm probably gonna get a nay on this, but oh well. But it makes it better than Raw because I don't think Raw would ever do something like this. SmackDown is being innovative. They are doing that land of opportunity. Now, of course, there was some shenanigans along after the fact. Ty Dillinger came out complaining about, hey, like that was unfair for me. What happened at the Royal Rumble, which I totally agree that yeah, he definitely got jobbed. That was horrible for what happened to Dillinger. He was supposed to be number 10 in the Royal Rumble. He got jumped before he even got out to the arena floor, and Sami Zayn stole his number and stole his spot. So then Baron Corbin gets in it, and all of a sudden, Dillinger and Corbin are going face to face, eye to eye, toe to toe. Whoa, no, 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 no. We ain't doing it here. Nuh-uh. Take it to the ring tonight, gentlemen. Shane McMahon makes the official match. Ty Dillinger versus Baron Corbin. We'll get into that in just a heartbeat. But next we had was, well, the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion, um, Charlotte Flair. So they talked about the Royal Rumble. They talked about everything that went down. The Riot Squad came out. They jumped her. They jumped. They jumped Charlotte. And then Carmella runs out. She has the briefcase. And it basically, um, you know, it looked like she had the intent to cash in the Money in the Bank, but ended up kicking him. But ended up, I guess the ref tried to hand it to the briefcase to the timekeeper, but then Carmella was like, you know what? No, it tonight's not a good night. I'm pulling the plug on that. Whoa, Anthony, this was the first time we've seen a Carmella attempt. I mean, oh my God, why, dude? It's imminent. It's imminent. We might have a future champion.
I think so too. But before I get to that, I said I had something interesting I wanted to say about the segment with Charlotte and the Riot Squad. good idea to get heat on the Riot Squad. Yes. And, Charlotte came out, got a great promo like she always does. And then the Riot Squad came out. And I got to tell you, and MF, I think you're going to be very surprised with what I'm about to say here. I'm starting to take a liking to this Ruby Riot, man. She is something. Let me tell you. She cut a wonderful promo tonight. That was a great heel promo that she cut. No question about it. And in theory, yeah, I mean, you remember back in the day before I gave my life to the Lord that I used to be into those, into those rocker chicks, I used to have a thing for those, I'll be honest with you. And I felt a little bit of that. I mean, if we were doing the commentary, I would have referred to Ruby Riot as not only the Dark Angel, but I would also consider her the Punk Princess because that's what she is. She looks like the princess of punk and a Dark Angel as well. And Ruby really impressed me tonight. And I think maybe there's a possibility that Ruby Riot could possibly be the next challenger for Charlotte Flair in the Women's Championship. I could easily see Ruby and Charlotte going at it at Fastlane for the Women's Championship because I think Ruby came out, not only did she cut the promo, that scathing promo that she did a wonderful job with, but she also laid out Charlotte Flair. Yeah, she had Sarah and Liv out there with her with the Riot Squad and the whole 9 yards, but Ruby got the last blow in. And she stood tall at the end. So I could possibly see a Charlotte and Ruby program before Charlotte defends at WrestleMania. Maybe against Ronda Rousey. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. So I just wanted to get off my chest about that segment. As far as what happened with Carmella, the attempted cash in, yes, it got a huge reaction as it always does. And it was a nice reminder that it's still in play. And MF, you said it. It makes you wonder if we're headed for a cash in before Fastlane. Forcing, which could possibly force Charlotte to try to win back the title before WrestleMania at Fastlane. You don't know. Because Fastlane is going to be on March 11th. Which I do believe if the calendar is correct, I think that's also the same night as Selection Sunday. So that night just got a hell of a lot interesting. I'll tell you that right now. So, oh boy, that's all I can say there. So we might have a huge night on March 11th. That's all I can say on that. So mark that on your calendars. So still in play. You brought it up. So yeah, Charlotte. I mean, everything about that segment was great. I mean, Charlotte, great promo. But to me, I think Ruby Riot really stood out to me tonight. And yes, and I'll tell you, MF, I'm starting to take a liking to her. Not just because of that, but because, she's starting to grow on me. I mean, I like her look, and that's another reason. And I consider her the princess of punk and the Dark Angel. So that's what I would have said if we were doing the commentary. So that's all I can say on that. So solid all around. Charlotte looked great. Carmella, great cash-in tease, wonderful cash-in tease. But I think the real star of this segment tonight was Ruby Riot. You heard it here first. How do you follow that, MF, as we move on?
And we're just going to move on to the next thing that we had was the one-on-one fight on Ty Dillinger versus Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin wins the match 9 minutes, 33 seconds, thanks to the end of days. All right, Florio, it's yours.
I'm sorry, MF. I can only give it 1 star. I mean, it was a complete nothing of a match. It just simply existed. It wasn't good. And Baron Corbin, what is he? Does he gain anything from Does he really gain anything for beating a guy like Ty Dillinger? Not really. He's never evolved. Ty Dillinger has never evolved past the Perfect 10 gimmick, and it doesn't look like he's headed in that direction anytime soon. Now, during some house shows, they actually had him work as a heel, and they had him, go after the fans and say, "Don't do the Perfect 10 thing. I don't like that." I wish they would have done that to them on the main roster. I really wish they would have. He really needs a repackaging. He needs to really modify the gimmick or find a new character that really lets him express himself. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm high on him. I really am. I think that young man's got potential, but that didn't really come off well for me. So Um, it's 9:33 if you count the commercials, but in all honesty, it was really more 6 minutes and 40 seconds of total TV time. So, I mean, that's really all I can say on that. It was one of the worst fights of the night, if not the worst fight of the night. Well, it was the second worst behind that Bludgeon Brothers squash. So, yeah, and it was a fine, okay fight, but didn't really blow me away. And Baron Corbin, MF, I'm sorry, he doesn't really gain anything from beating Ty Dillinger.
Mm.
If it was a more high profile name, okay, but Ty Dillinger, no, he's nowhere near the top. Corbin, you may have gotten the win, my man, but I'm sorry, you don't gain any. You don't. Does he gain any? Did he gain anything from that? In one word, nope. Move on.
All right, the next thing we had, and Anthony, you don't have to cover this if you don't want to. It was Breezango versus Sheldon Benjamin and Chad Gable. Gable and Benjamin wins it in 4 minutes and 21 seconds. Like I said, you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
No,
Mm.
it was only a 1-star match. I mean, it was basically a rehab win for Shelton and Gable. I mean,
Yeah.
they had almost no real time to work, and it was horribly rushed and disjointed. It was not good. I could probably say this was the second best fight of the night. This was another 1-star. I mean, that crowd, man, you said it. The crowd is dead. Is it, was it because of a bunch of holdovers from the Rumble and Raw? But they either don't care about SmackDown Live or they're just super burnt out. Just nothing for the match. Not even high spots. No. Sorry.
I think, like you said, I think it's just because it was the fourth night, and you had the NXT, you had the Rumble, you had the Raw. Now it's SmackDown. It kind of gets to the point where it's like it's almost like they kind of did a disservice to SmackDown Live tonight. It almost feels like it. But the final fight of the night, the main event, the tag team match that we were pretty excited about. WWE Champion AJ Styles, the winner of the Royal Rumble, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The winners of the bout were AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. They get the big win, as it was, let's see, as it was
Nakamura.
actually Nakamura with the Kinshasa on Kevin Owens for the 1-2-3. And uh-oh, do we have a little bit of some trouble in paradise with the so-called best friends? In the immortal words of Sami Zayn? Yup. What do you say, Florio?
I know you were really hoping I was gonna give this a high rating. I know you're probably saying, oh, this is probably the fight of the night. Probably 3.5 to 4. Not even close.
No, I could probably say maybe 2.5.
Yes, that is correct. You are correct. This was 2 to 2.5. It was only the second best fight of the night. That US title 4-way, I felt, was the fight of the night. Considering the talent involved here, this was very disappointing, honestly. I mean, I understand that Sami Zayn had to wrestle on the mixed match challenge with your girl MF Becky Lynch against Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman, but they went angle heavy with the tag team partners that don't get along, and the action was house show level dialed back. I mean, it felt like it was almost like a house show type main event. I'm gonna be real honest with you. You could see the rift in the friendship coming from a mile away. But I'm asking myself, why couldn't this have happened over a period of weeks heading into the Royal Rumble, heading into that handicap match at the Royal Rumble, rather than this average and mediocre show we saw tonight? The last month is, and this is where I'm going to be ridiculously raw here. Yeah, ridiculously raw is coming into play right here and now on the Cerebral Smack Talk MF, so watch out. You wonder why the last month of SmackDown Live was brutal. You wonder why I said this show was on the decline and Raw was on the rise. It was because they decided to avoid telling this story, and now they burned through most of it in a single night. I'm glad we're there now, finally, yes, but it lacked a bit of tension and drama because of the compressed time frame. That's all there is to it. So 2 to 2.5, I'll give it for that, for the effort, but I mean, why couldn't you have booked this after Sami Zayn was on the Mixed Match Challenge? Then we could have gotten more of an effort out of it. But 2.5. That's all I can go. So nothing more to say except overall review, and I'm ready to go. So
Fire away.
oh, I'm gonna fire, baby. Pat Benatar saying, "Hit me with your best shot." Well, I'm gonna hit you with my best shot right now. Average, mediocre show tonight. I can only give it a 5 out of 10, honestly. This was a very flat and skippable edition of SmackDown Live, with the only positives being a fun promo with the Usos. Usos cut a wonderful promo. I'll give them that. The women's segment, that's definitely something you got to check out. And you also set up for Bobby Roode and Rusev and Kevin and Sammy for next week. I mean, that U.S. #1 contender 4-way, that was a solid match. That's the match I definitely think you should check out. The Uso segment, the opening segment, and that's pretty much all I can say on that. And I'll even give you the women as well because I thought Ruby Riott looked really good tonight. I think it's the best she's looked since coming to the main roster. So, and I've taken a tremendous liking to her as well. So, sorry, MF. This was a 5 out of 10, and in all honesty, I think Monday Night Raw came out on top this week. And of the 4 shows that went down, SmackDown Live far and away the worst because TakeOver was amazing, the Rumble was amazing, Raw was amazing, SmackDown Live.
I think they just burned out. It was a bad situation. No, I agree. It was a bad situation. This is where if you're you have to move it out of that area. If I was WWE, I would do 3 nights maybe in that whole city, and then the 4th and final night, do it in an area in the same state. Like for instance, I know it would not be a big problem, but why not put it in Pittsburgh? Keep it in Pennsylvania, do it in Pittsburgh. You could move you could have the Penguins out of there just for 1 night only. So you could have done another place, but we'll talk about we're gonna get into NXT right now, Anthony. So because we're gonna talk about the NXT Takeover Philadelphia that went down on Saturday night, and we started it with the NXT Tag Team Title fight, the Undisputed Era. More importantly, as I knew them in Ring of Honor, Red Dragon, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish put the titles on the line against the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor, the winners of the bout, in 14 minutes and 50 seconds, and still the NXT Tag Team Champions, the Undisputed Era. So, Anthony, why don't you give me your thoughts about the fight?
All right, and before I do, I just want to let you know, MF, tonight's 205 Live was far better than SmackDown Live. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. That's all I can say on that. Wait till you hear what I have to say about that on Monday night in Tony's take. But okay, tag team title matchup, Undisputed Era, O'Reilly and Fish against the Authors of Pain. 4 stars, 4-star match. I mean, this was a great match. I mean, with tremendous yet simple work by the champions here, nullifying the power advantage of AOP. Akam sold the injury very well, and Razor showed great fire in his comebacks. The champions were just smarter with the game plan, and they managed to sneak away with the win and did so without any shenanigans. It was a simple and old school story with the smaller heel champions just executing better than the monster challengers. AOP deliver again on a takeover show. They're still very young guys as well, and they're only getting better. So main roster, oof, that's all I can say. And wherever they end up, although it's very likely they're probably gonna end up on SmackDown Live. They're gonna be amazing. And as far as your old friends from ROH, Fish and O'Reilly, they delivered. And it was a treat for me to see these guys. I've never seen these guys wrestle before. I know, MF, you've seen them a gazillion times in ROH, and now I know why you're so high on them. I get it. Get it now. Team Red Dragon, originally known, you made a believer out of me. That's all I can say on that. Solid 4 stars. Great way to start off TakeOver. So, how about you, MF?
Yeah, I agree. 4 stars was my rating as well. I thought this was a very good match, great way to start it. And yeah, they were really, really, really strong. And I had nothing bad to say about it whatsoever. So we're just going to move on to the next fight of the night, which was Cassius Ono going 1-on-1 with the Velveteen Dream. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout at 10 minutes and 45 seconds was the Velveteen Dream. I gotta say it, another strong fight. This was a really good match. Um, Not as strong as the first fight of the night, but the match was definitely really good. And I gotta say it, the Velveteen Dream, he is now um he's rising, man. His stock is rising. If you want a guy who's definitely going to become a big name in NXT, put the stock into the Velveteen Dream. After his fight with Johnny Gargano on last Wednesday's show, because that was recorded a long time ago, but we got to see that just last week, and then live on NXT Takeover. He's had two really good matches, to say the very least. And all of a sudden, the Velveteen Dream his stock is rising, and who knows what's gonna happen, man. I mean, maybe by the end of the year we might be talking about him possibly becoming a champion down the line. Well, we'll wait and see what happens, but he's looking really good now. Nothing more to say. Florio, it is all yours.
What's your star rating, MF?
3 to 3.5.
Solid 3.5 for me. Very good match, with Velveteen Dream delivering again in back-to-back takeover performances. He didn't win in 30 seconds, but he won a very good back-and-forth match against a very game Cassius Ono, recovering from last week's loss to Gargano. Dream was insanely over here, and he simply comes off as a star ready and primed to break out. You remember last month when we did our Wrestling Forum Awards show, we had a category called Breakout Star of the Year. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this year, if Velveteen Dream is included in that list. I mean, he's a breakout star in my book. They did have one off spot near the end, but they recovered, and it did not take away from the overall package. I honestly think the match that Dream had with Aleister Black at the TakeOver War Games was a smidgen better, if I'm going to be honest. But no, this was a solid, good, just about 11-minute bout. So really nothing left to say on this except 3.5 stars, solid 3.5 stars. No 3 to 3.5. No, this was solid 3.5, hands down. Let's move on.
All right, the next thing we had was for the NXT Women's title. Ember Moon goes 1-on-1 with Shayna Baszler, the winner of the bout, and still the NXT Women's Champion, Ember Moon. Anthony, good matchup, but oh my God, Shayna Baszler absolutely destroyed her after the fight. Oh man.
Well, there's nothing really for me to say on this. By default, keywords, by default, this was the worst fight of the night, even though it was nothing, it was not bad whatsoever. It's only because of the body of work of the other matches. I can only give this a solid 3 stars. Shayna Baszler did really well for her first major stage NXT bout. Match was good, nice story, and the finish that played well into Baszler's mentality of not letting go, allowing Moon, the resilient babyface, to fight through and pick up the win and retain. Moon's selling of the post-Eclipse injury angle played very well as they built to the finish. I mean, she sold that thing unbelievably. You could even say it might have been a little bit of an oversell, but no, it was fine. It was fine for me. It was a perfect selling for me. And Shayna Baszler, I mean, I was very high on her when she was in UFC, when she was on that Women's Ultimate Fighter, when Ronda Rousey was the coaching on that. And then I got even more high on her during her run in the Mae Young Classic, where she was the runner up to Kairi Sane. I mean, she very much impressed me during that, and she really impressed me during this match. I have no doubt in my mind, MF. She will be a future NXT Women's Champion. I think she will get another shot down the line, and when she does, I think Shayna Baszler will become the next NXT Women's Champion. And then within the next couple of years, I can see her in the WWE. And if they put her on the same brand as Ronda Rousey, ooh, is that going to make for some interesting must-see television? That's all I can say on that. So, solid 3 stars. By default, the worst fight of the night, even though it was not remotely bad whatsoever. It's just the other matches were just that much better. That's all I can say. So, solid 3 for me. So, I don't know about you on that, but what do you say about it?
I agree with the 3 stars. I think this was a really good match. I had nothing bad to say whatsoever about it. I mean, you definitely has thrown a really good, with everything that was going on. I have nothing bad to say. I love that the extra beatdown angle at the end. I think that was really solid, to say the very least. And as far as I think we're just gonna have to wait and see what the future may hold. But with everything that went down, I liked what I saw. So no, it was definitely it was I had, like I said, there's nothing bad to say about it. Um, we're just gonna move right on to the next fight of the night, and oh my god, is all I'm gonna say. Aleister Black versus Adam Cole in Extreme Rules. Aleister Black wins this in 22 minutes and 2 seconds. Okay, this was a fight of the night. Well, it has to be one of the fights of the night, and easily for me, a candidate for fight of the year. That's how good this fight was. 4.5 to 5 stars. I don't know. I don't know if I can actually pull the trigger on a 5 star, but because a lot of people said without a doubt that this deserved the 5 star classic rating. To me, I, I think it deserves it. I just don't know. You know, you really, 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 really need to earn the 5 stars. But I'll say this one definitely earned darn near a 5 star rating. If it doesn't, then we'll see what happens. But oh my God, this was awesome. This was beautifully done, beautifully storylined. I love the fact that they added a little bit of the sanity in it, as well as they were trying to cut off the other members of the Undisputed Era at the pass with that. I mean, it was definitely a great way to do it, and it was amazing. There is really nothing more that we can talk about. For me, this was unbelievable. It felt like the old school ECW back in the day. The violence, the hardcore nature of it. This was as good as you could have gotten. For me, thank you, NXT, for bringing back the purity, the love of the hardcore element. You did it, and you did it with such honor. And to do that for the crowd in Philly, you outdid yourselves on this one. For me, this is my fight of the night. 4.5 to 5 stars. I could easily call this 5 stars. Fight of the night, and more importantly, a top 5 candidate of a fight of the year. Florio, it's yours.
Easy there, Romeo. I got to be the man who tells it like it is. Not quite 4.5 to 5. It is 4 though. I will give it 4 though. It was for me the second best fight of the night. Only because it was slow in the beginning. I got to be honest. I mean, it took a bit to get going, but they did have a crowd that was into everything, which allowed them to keep the heat and the work to turn things around and deliver really great in the second half. Usually, I'm not a big fan of run-ins. Usually, that's frowned upon on this show, whether it's on this show or Ridiculously Raw. But due to the rules of the match and the fact that it actually made sense, continuing the Sanity and Undisputed Era feud, the closing stretch was really great and heated, and it added a ton to the match as a whole. And at the end of the day, it came together, it worked, and it was rather great. And I think with this win for Black, I think Aleister Black has just catapulted himself into the NXT Championship picture. I could see him getting a future shot at the NXT Championship. Maybe at the next NXT takeover in New Orleans the night before WrestleMania. Maybe. I could see it. I can definitely see it. But I think this is the one thing we're going to disagree on here. I know how much you love the match, and I get it. You love the match. That's fine. But for me, I loved it too, just not as much as you did. If it wasn't so slow in the beginning, then I probably would have met you with the 4.5 to 5. But because of the slow beginning, I can only give it 4. Second best fight of the night. But I think coming up next, what we're going to get into, I think we're definitely in big time agreement about this match.
Well, the next thing we had, it's definitely going to be a big time main event fight. And yes, it was more importantly, this was the main event of the night. It was for the NXT title. It was Andre Cien Almas with the beautiful Selena Vega, and they put it all on the line against Philadelphia's own Johnny Gargano. Johnny Wrestling, when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 32 minutes and 19 seconds, and still the NXT champion, Andres Cien Almas. An incredible match. But then, after the fight was over, Candice LeRae came to ringside to help Johnny Gargano out of the ring. They go up the rampway, and the next thing we know, Tommaso Ciampa shows up and jumps Gargano. He's back, guys, and oh my God. Oof. Yep. Here we go. It is on. Anthony, go ahead. Give me your thoughts on the main event.
What else is there to say, MF, except 3 little words? 5-star classic. That's what this was. Absolutely spectacular match. And for me, so far in 2018, this is my fight of the year. This was the best I've seen in 2018 by a mile. I know we're only in January, but this was everything that I wanted. I want from a wrestling bout. It had great action, a great villain, and an absolutely lovable and awesome babyface that the live crowd was trying to will the victory. And heck, I was here. I was here in the comfort of my own home. This had the action, the great work, the Shakespearean drama, and the storytelling that made me more emotionally invested in a match in quite a long time. The near falls, the teases, the fight from Gargano and Almas just being a cocky a-hole, cutting all of that off constantly, and the final 10 minutes of the bout almost had me out of my seat. Simply an amazing effort from both men. Also from the ladies, as you know, Candice LeRae got involved. She attacked Selena Vega because Selena Vega kept, poking her beautiful face in the things. And it all came together perfectly as they put on the best WWE match since probably last year at NXT TakeOver Chicago when Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne had their 5-star classic in Chicago last year. Simply put, for those of you who have the WWE Network and MF, I hope and pray to God you're one of them. 4 words before I give it to you. Go watch this now. Done. Period. 5-star classic, fight of the year. To this point, That is until AJ and Nakamura come out in the Superdome. That's all I can say on that. At least for the next couple of months, I don't see any other match topping this. Any promotion, WWE, GFW, ROH. Well, I'm sure New Japan's gonna probably have a lot to say about it. So,
Oh yeah, New Japan will definitely have something to say about that.
of course they will. Of course they will. So, nothing left for me to say except 5-star classic. And I could probably go on the record, and I will go on the record and say this: out of all the matches in NXT history, I could probably say from the men's side, that was the greatest match from the men that I've ever seen. Even better than Sami Zayn and Neville from the R Revolution. That was the previous greatest. This one here made that one look like a dud. That's all I can say on that. So the only thing that would have topped it is if Gargano had won the belt. If Gargano had won the belt, the roof would have damn near come off the Wells Fargo Center. That's all I can say on that. Mm-hmm. The commentary was amazing. You got to give it up for our boy Mauro Ranallo. I mean, this is why Mauro Ranallo is the man when it comes to commentary right now. So, Mamma Mia, man. That was all I can say on that. Mamma Mia. So, 5-star classic. MF, I know we had a slight disagreement about the Extreme Rules match. I hope we're in agreement on this one.
Oh no, no doubt about it. This one is definitely it definitely gets the 5-star rating. You know, when you get the crowd to yell "fight forever," oh, forget it. You automatically get the 5-star.
Yep.
The 5-star level. So I mean, you know, when that's as good as you could get it. For Andres Almas, this solidifies him as a true NXT champion. I mean, there's been a lot of questions about him and the whole 9 yards and everything that's been going on. There's nothing more to say. Yes, the match was amazing. Everything that came out was as good as you could get. And for Andres Almas to win the match, win the battle, and keep the belt is awesome. And you know, there's really nothing bad to say about it. So, yes, I'll give you that. The 5-star rating is worthy of it. The fight of the year candidacy is worthy of it. Now, is it the fight of the year? I don't know, Anthony. I mean, I could definitely say that. At least in my mind, I have to say that Aleister Black and Adam Cole is in it. I also have to say the other match that would be worthy enough of the fight of the year for me would be Jericho versus Kenny Omega from Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, that match was absolutely off the chains. So I mean, definitely it's in the conversation. Now, is it going to be the fight of the year? We'll wait and see what happens. But like you said, there's definitely some strong competition. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that, and we'll leave it to that point of the night. So, all right. So, obviously, we already know this is going to get a glowing review, but I'm going to lead it off anyway. 9 to 9.5 out of 10. I'm not going to give it the full 10 because, you know, there was one fight that kind of was a little bit disappointing, but out of the entire night, it cannot be anything bad than what we saw. Definitely, it was the great pace setter for the Royal Rumble weekend, and this really was the best show of the Royal Rumble weekend. This was better than Raw. This was better than SmackDown. This was better than the Royal Rumble event itself. 9 to 9.5 out of 10 for NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. Florio, go.
It's more like an 8.5 to 9 for me, MF. I think 9.5 is a little too steep, if I'm going to be real honest. But nonetheless, I mean, at the least a 9. I can definitely agree with you there. I mean, TakeOver Philadelphia was an absolutely great show with 2 great undercard matches, the other 2 being good and very good, and a certified match of the year contender from Almas and Gargano that makes this a must-see show. If you haven't seen it yet, or if you just want to see it again on the WWE Network, for those of you who have it, if you have nothing better to do, why in the hell not? That's all I can say. Relive that classic with Gargano and Almas. That was the fight of the night for me. Extreme Rules was the second best fight. Third best fight was the tag team titles. And then Dream and Ono, and by default, worst fight of the night was the women's match. Even though there was nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It was just the other matches were just that damn good. That's all there is to it. So I'll meet you halfway in the middle. I'm at 8.5 to 9 is my rating. So that's all I can say on that. So with that being said, if there's nothing else, either we close it up, or if you have anything else on the Mikey's mindset, hit us with it.
Well, first off, I gotta get my little plug in for the RWA because this weekend is RWA's Night of Appreciation. It's going down this time around this Saturday night from the RWA Chop Shop in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. So we're just gonna set the card real quick, and then we're gonna send you guys home. So first off, we got is basically a tag team match. It is the Wild Hammers, and they're going up against the Underground Death Machines. These are two brand new teams, and we're going to see who comes out on top in that one. Then on top of that, we also have Jack Connor to go one-on-one with Chris Sterling. Definitely going to be an interesting matchup, to say the very least. We also got Sean Leader going one-on-one with Shady Shay Cash. Also, and then in a one-on-one match, the Insane Dick Lane goes up against King Leon the six-man tag team fight on this card. Jason Devine, Ricky Medeiros, and the RWA Hype Champion Callan Thomas, the Riot. They go up against all three members of the Main Street Posse. That's going to be on a one-on-one match. We also got Nick Marchand versus the returning Mike Grassa, the Mind Eraser. Then we have a non-title match. A non-title match going to be the Stack Deck, Mike Montero, and Chris Cruz, the two men that's going to be facing each other at Perseverance, which is about a couple of months from now. They're going to go up against the RWA Tag Team Champions, the Middlesex Express, and in a huge matchup in the main event, a 8-man tag team matchup, Team Phoenix versus Team Hansen. As you may know, Team Phoenix has Pumpalicious and T Phoenix right now, and the only member of Jimmy Hansen's team at the moment is actually the Irish Warrior. He is representing the Foundation. So we're going to see who the two other remaining men are going to be. And, of course, for T Phoenix's team, they got one more man to go. That's all going down this Saturday night from Pawtucket, Rhode Island, all to honor Frank Champion, who's retiring from the world of professional wrestling. And that's it, guys. So we are done for the night. And I want to say this Friday night is going to be the big one, the preview of Super Bowl 52. We're going to cover it on every front about the Patriots and the Eagles, including who we like offensively, defensively, and we will give our official predictions on who we think is going to win it all on Sunday night. And, stay tuned. We might have a recap. I don't know yet. We'll probably address that on Friday night. But until then, for Anthony Floyo, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now. And we hope you have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.